everybody, welcome to the bedroom showcase. This is Rusty. I want to show you all today this gun I purchased about a month ago at a local pawn shop, and this is my first gun I've ever bought. That's a classic gun, a World War II style gun, and what we have here is a British Lee-Enfield chambered in the .303 British. Not a common round to come by, especially as I've tried to look around my city here and try and find some ammunition for it. But we're just going to talk about this gun today, check it out a little bit, and also cover some things that will be coming up for this gun, and will be showcased in some of the next videos that we have. So my knowledge is growing on this gun and older classic guns in particular, and in general. I'm no expert by any means. And again, this is the bedroom gun showcase, so it's, you know, very informal, but I really just want to show you guys some of the guns that I have, kind of what I want to have in the collection I'm working towards acquiring. Just kind of share with you all, as well as any tips, tricks, modifications, and repairs, especially things like that. A lot of folks these days are trying to fix up their guns or things like that, and a lot of times with these older guns there are things that, you know, aren't exactly as they should be and need a little bit of attention, and that's kind of the case with this one. It is a great gun, and it is in great shape and condition, but there are just a few things that I do need to kind of adjust on, and we'll cover that here in a moment. Here we have the British Lee-Enfield .303 I was telling you about, and it's a heavy gun compared to a lot of more modern, you know, polymer guns and things like that. And so I was a little surprised when it did catch my eye like that, but we'll just go ahead and clear it, let you know that there's nothing in it. But really a fantastic gun so far, and one I'm really happy to have been able to pick up. And I hope that as time goes on I can continue to hold on to it and make it work well. I'm a little bit torn up between either trying to go the classic route of really keeping it in line with the classic sort of a appearance for this firearm, or going for a more modern one. That choice has already been taken away a little bit from me, just as far as the Cerakote finish on this gun, which you may have noticed. So this gun does have a silver tungsten looking Cerakote finish on all the metal pieces, which I actually do appreciate. I do find it attractive. It made it kind of pop out well to me. But what I really like is the condition of the wood. All of the wood furniture has a really nice finish on it. I'm not sure if this is the original finish. I'm a little doubtful. It probably is, because of the condition that the coating on the wood is in. If I can't tell if it's just an oil or a lacquer of some description, but it's in very good shape, and I really do care for it. But it's probably not the original. So one thing we'll do some close-ups on and show you are some issues going on, particularly with the firing pin spring, and the firing pin screw, which is actually missing on this rifle, which I found out after doing more research on the parts of it. And that's okay, because I've got those ordered. They should be arriving in the next few days, and when I have them in, I also ordered the tool for this. So what I'm going to show you all is basically a how-to for the replacement of your Lee-Enfield number 4 Mark I firing pin related parts. And so we'll go through that, try and show that in some good high quality so you guys can really see it and know exactly what to do. And again, I'm by no means an armorer, a gunsmith. I'm a 23-year-old working professional, and just like to work with my guns. I grew up on a farm, so I've grown up with firearms, very familiar with them, but I always like to learn more about them. So in a way, this channel is more of a way for me to get that as an outlet, and also have a something to kind of encourage me to be more active in learning and my knowledge of them, and to keep progressing in my collection and things like that. So a little bit of accountability there, I guess you could say. So stay tuned. We'll show you some more of this in a moment, and we'll see what we can do with it. Alright, so here we have the Lee-Enfield in all its glory. We'll just kind of do a bottom to top kind of look here real quick, so you get a chance to see it up close and see the parkerized finish, or Cerakoted. I'm not really sure as far as the nomenclature what the difference is that they put on this I don't really know. Again, I picked this up at a pawn shop for about $300, and it does have the brass butt plate, which is something that I like on it as far as the coloring, although the metal doesn't exactly match. But something about this, it was my first World War II gun purchase. It's just, I really like it. There's just something about it. So we'll take a closer look at it. Of course, there's the bolt. Bolt's open. We're going to go ahead and try and take this apart here in a moment and see if we can't show you some of the details on this gun. Okay. So on this gun, in order to get this disassembled, a couple things we got to do. Let's make sure we got it on the camera there. There we go. Alright. So a couple things that we're going to have to work on is first removing the bolt. So how do you remove the bolt? There are a couple different varieties on the number 4 Mark I I've seen, but this one in particular, basically, you have to get the bolt lined up in this recessed groove right in there. If you see what I'm talking about. Right down in that groove right there. So, in order to do that, we first have to have the bolt slid forward. So you see here's the bolt. We're going to slide it forward. And this pin right here, we actually have to hold that down. And you'll hear the difference in sound there. When I brought it forward, there's that little click. So basically, now it's out of there and can be rotated. So you have to be able to rotate this piece right here in order to make it fit. So now that we have that slid up, we can just go ahead and slide the bolt out. And there it is. So at this point, really more of the focus is going to be on the bolt itself. So to undo the bolt to get to the firing pin areas, you actually just unscrew this bolt head right here. And so this is where you have the firing pin contained inside, and then right here you have the extractor. And so everything on this gun was fine with the extractor. All those pieces were in good shape, and I'll let you see it. Everything there, if we can get it to focus there for us. Everything was in good condition for that piece. And the whole thing, I mean, this gun in its entirety, it's in pretty decent shape. But the one thing is that this firing pin, a little bit old, and it's a common problem after some research. I've noticed that when you shoot it, every now and then you're going to have some light strikes, and that's the issue I've been having with my gun, is that, you know, 1 to 2 shots out of every 10, and I've only shot about 20 or 30 rounds through the gun so far, and when they go off, it's been very accurate up to a distance of probably about, I've only shot to about maybe 50 to 70 yards with it so far, so nothing crazy, but it was very accurate. But I've just noticed some things with the firing pin where on one thing it's had enough wear where it shortened the firing pin a little bit. And the other thing is that as time has gone on, the firing pin spring can wear down, and so what I've done is I've ordered from Apex Gun Parts, gone ahead and ordered a new firing pin itself. So right here, I'll show you the firing pin. So there it is protruding out of there. So we're going to get a new firing pin, a new firing pin spring, and I also ordered a firing pin tool. There's a special tool for that, and I've heard people say you can make them yourselves, but I don't have really the tools to try and fabricate something. So for now, we'll just stick with this, but what I'm going to do in the next video, once my parts arrive and I have the time to go ahead and repair that, I'm going to go ahead and show you all what I do with that. It's not difficult from what I can tell. Things always don't seem difficult, but always wind up taking longer, so we'll document the process and give you all something to kind of, go by as you work on your projects as well. But I'll show this up, hold this up to the camera. But one thing I've noticed when I look at it from a straight on profile, such as this, over time up to the close eye, it appears that the firing pin is almost kind of warped to one direction or the other. From your angle on the camera, I can't tell which way you'd be able to see it, but it's got some things going on there that need to be adjusted. So hopefully once I do these repairs, I don't have that issue anymore with the light strikes and things like that. I'm using brand new ammunition. It's not reloads or old surplus ammunition. I've also heard with surplus there used to be a lot of issues with hard primers, but that's not an issue we're dealing with here. So like I said, we'll keep you up to date. In the next video we'll cover some of this material again a little bit, and we'll see how it goes from there, and hopefully get this build back in good working condition. So by the way, just as a recap, just to show you how it goes back together, you take the bolt head and it really just screws right on in, and once you have it lined up, that's the point at which you can go ahead and take your gun and line that bolt back up again. And at this point, this is where you flip down that bolt head. Got to make sure that you have this little tab here on the side. This tab right here, you got to make sure you have that depressed. And so when you do, fold that back over, and then you just keep on sliding it through, and there you have it. It's back in working condition. So that's about it, folks. It's a beautiful little gun. Really enjoy it so far. Hopefully can get all these small issues, but you want to have your gun be reliable and things like that. So to anyone out there who's purchasing for the first time an old classic or antique rifle that actually intends to shoot it and things like that, I do strongly encourage you just to go through it thoroughly. Break it down all the way to the bolt and the spring and the firing pin, and give it a once over. Make sure everything's in good condition, and do some small repairs if you need to, and see how it goes for you. So thanks for watching, and tune in next time.